She asked me to call him Dad at dinner. Her voice trembled, like even she didn't believe the word fit. The man sitting across from me, Rick, smiled with too many teeth, the kind of smile that tried to own a room. His hand slid over hers. She didn't flinch. That's when I knew something in her had already died. I remember the sound of the knife hitting my plate when I set it down. The clink echoed in that suffocating silence. Then I looked up at her and said, "I already have one." That was the last honest sentence I spoke in that house. Mom used to be light, soft laughter, weekend pancakes, long car rides with music playing too loud. She and Dad were solid. At least that's what I believed when I was 12. Then, one night, the shouting started. Whispered arguments at first, like they thought I couldn't hear. By the end, it was shattered glass and slammed doors. Dad left a week later. His clothes disappeared. His toothbrush too. She said he needed time. But I knew, moms only use that line when they're hiding someone else behind it. Rick showed up 3 months later with a pickup truck and a handshake that lingered too long. He wore cologne that smelled like rust and pine needles. Said he was helping around the house. Said he cared about us. I didn't buy it. At first, he played the role, fixed the faucet, brought groceries, acted polite. But little cracks showed. The way his eyes followed her when she moved. The way he'd joke about how I needed a man's discipline. The worst was how she laughed at those jokes. Not because they were funny, but because she needed to believe she hadn't made a mistake. It started with small things. My dad's number blocked on her phone. Old photos disappearing from the living room shelves. Her voice brittle whenever I mentioned him. Then I found the letter. I wasn't looking for it. It was wedged under a drawer, folded in half. His handwriting. "Still love you both. I'll be back when it's safe." When it's safe. Those 3 words rewired something in me. I texted the number I'd memorized years ago. Didn't expect a reply. He called within the hour. His voice was tired, broken, but alive. That's when I learned the truth. She hadn't been cheated on. She'd cheated. Rick was her coworker, her escape. And when Dad found out, he confronted them both. Things turned ugly. She pressed charges, false ones. Said Dad was violent. Said she was afraid. She won custody. He lost everything. I listened, didn't interrupt, and by the time he finished, I already knew what had to be done. Revenge isn't rage. It's patience. And I was very patient. Rick liked control. He liked being the man of the house. So I let him feel that way. I let him think I was folding under it. I made my voice small, my footsteps quiet. Predators relax when you stop resisting. Every night, I collected details. He had a second phone. He kept cash in a lockbox under the truck seat. He met clients every Wednesday night at the same bar. Meanwhile, Dad and I talked in secret. He was cautious, told me not to do anything stupid. I told him I wouldn't. I lied. The first step was small. I used Rick's second phone while he slept. A few messages, a few photos sent to a number I'd traced back to his client. Turned out she wasn't a client. She was a girlfriend. So I made sure my mom found out. Printed screenshots, left them in her purse. The explosion came 2 days later. Screaming, accusations, tears. Rick stormed out. She threw plates. I stayed quiet, watching. That night, when she asked me to help fix things, I nodded. She thought I'd pick her side. She didn't realize I was done choosing between liars. Step 2, evidence. Dad still had the police report from the custody case, the inconsistencies, the lack of witnesses, the bruises that didn't match medical photos. I sent copies to the right people. Dad's lawyer, child services, and one of Mom's friends who loved gossip more than loyalty. Rick came back that weekend, She forgave him, like she always did. He moved back in. But this time, the police followed. Turns out his girlfriend filed a report. Financial fraud. He'd been embezzling from her company. My anonymous tip confirmed his location. They arrested him at our front door. Mom screamed as they cuffed him. I stood behind her, holding the same knife I'd set down weeks ago. It should have ended there, but karma needed one final push. The fallout from Rick's arrest reopened the old custody case. The lies, the false statements, they all resurfaced. Mom's record was reviewed. Dad got a call from the court 3 months later. Custody reinstated. When I packed my bags, she begged me to stay. Said she was sorry. Said she was scared. I looked at her the way she once looked at Dad. Like I was saying goodbye to a ghost.